Yo, good people, it's your homie HerbMan, busting you back upside the head with another hot banger boogie. So people ask me all the time, yo, HerbMan, why are the meds not working for my high blood pressure, okay? Now, here's the thing, you guys. You have to understand that there's a lot of different causes for high blood pressure, okay? I mean, there's a lot of different things. You're talking about stress, you're talking about obesity, you're talking about, lack of exercise, you're talking about diet, you're talking about thyroid issues, genetic factors, kidney issues, adrenaline issues, if you're taking certain medications and painkillers, calcium deficiencies, magnesium deficiencies, potassium deficiencies, coenzyme CoQ10 deficiencies, heavy metal poisoning, high blood sugar levels. A lot of these things play a factor in having high blood pressure. Now, most of the time when you go to the doctor, they're going to be giving you ACE inhibitors, okay, which are basically angiotensin converting enzymes, right? And these things, what they do is they relax your veins and your arteries, okay? Especially if you're dealing with stiff arteries, atherosclerosis, things of that nature. So they give you these things, and so if you're taking lisinopril or something like that, that would be considered a ACE inhibitor. Now, the other ones that they give is mostly diuretics, right? Which are what we call the water pills, right? Your hydrochlorothiazide and all that type of stuff to try to flush out the system. But at the same time, we don't understand how this particular system plays a role in those particular tactics that the allopathic community provides for us, okay? So when we're talking about the ACE inhibitors, right? So you're basically talking about the aldosterone, right? Aldosterone, which is produced by the adrenals. So this is where your adrenals really come in at playing a big role in your high blood pressure states, okay? So the aldosterone, basically, it regulates your sodium and water retention, all right? And then it also tells the kidneys to push out excess potassium, all right? Now, if there's something wrong with the aldosterone, if you're retaining, a lot of renin or your angiotensin situation is not working properly, this is going to be regulated by aldosterone, and a lot of people don't know about aldosterone. And so again, remember that it's regulating your blood pressure by making your body retain sodium and water retention, right? Because water and sodium kind of follows each other. So if you're dealing with water retention and you're dealing with sodium retention, this could be why your aldosterone could be out of whack or your adrenals could be out of whack, okay? And so you want to look at that and you want to make sure that that's not the problem. But again, that's why they're giving you these ACE inhibitors to try to rectify this particular imbalance. All right, but it's all due to the functionality of the adrenals. All right, now what else does the adrenals operate that can cause us issues? All right, so your next one, and if you guys don't know about sodium, your body needs sodium in order to basically for your nerve conductivity, right? So we're talking about how the nerves communicate. It needs sodium to do that. You also need sodium to contract and relax the muscles as well. So just for you moving around and the brain communicating properly with the rest of your body, sodium is needed, okay? But you don't want to have a concentrated dosage of sodium inside or with outside of the cell, or intracellular or extracellular. You just don't want that, right? So your body is always going to try to compensate and make sure that the sodium and potassium levels are accurate, and sometimes this just doesn't work if you don't have properly functioning adrenals and kidneys. So that's why I brought this system up to let you know how important the endocrine system is to controlling your blood pressure. And a lot of us, even though we change our diet, we don't have any obstructions. The doctor tells us that there's no, cholesterol factors or anything like that. Our weight is right, but we're still fighting high blood pressure. Could just be due to stress factors, okay? So next in line of what the adrenals deal with is cortisol, all right? Cortisol. Now, cortisol, we know that we definitely got to have this. This is part of our fight or flight and getting us up and getting us going type of thing. But cortisol, and all of this information is right here, okay? But cortisol is is an immunosuppressive type of thing. Okay, it also is going to increase our blood sugar levels. Okay, when you have cortisol going, it's going to increase your blood sugar levels or your blood glucose levels. What does this mean? Okay, that means you got sugar in the blood now, right? So we know that that's going to cause a coagulation or a thickening of the blood, and that's going to really start to work that heart out along with working out those kidneys, okay? But this is all things that you need, but this is all about needing them at the point in time, right? So you shouldn't be up under stress chronically, over time. It should be, short spurts of stress so that we don't stay in these conditions all the time. But a lot of times this can be the underlying factors for why meds are not handling our blood pressure, okay? So now we know that it's an anti-inflammatory, we know this immunosuppressor, and we also know that cortisol increases our blood glucose levels. Last but not least, you have adrenaline, okay? Now adrenaline is going to modulate your physiological stress, okay? Stress factors, okay? How does it do this? By increasing your heart rate, increasing your blood pressure, and increasing your blood glucose levels. So when we're under stress, just sorely under stress, and we have adrenaline pumping and cortisol pumping continuously, then can't you see that this is what is increasing your blood sugar levels, your blood pressure, and your heart rate, okay? And so again, you're going to need to be more relaxed. And my biggest point to making this video is that a lot of the root cause of your issues may not necessarily be obesity or a poor diet or a lack of exercise or a high intake of sodium. It just may be stress and anxiety, okay? Anxiety, worrying, and all this type of stuff, which keeps this cortisol and this adrenaline just going and going and going, wreaking havoc, on the blood vessels by producing high glucose levels, increasing blood pressure, and increasing heart rate. And therefore, even if you're on meds and you're staying stressed out and you're lacking sleep and you're staying in this hyperactive or overactive sympathetic nervous system mode, then guess what? It's going to be very hard to bring down the blood pressure. Another thing is that if you're constantly on diuretics, every time you urinate, you're going to be releasing potassium. Well, potassium is a factor in balancing out your blood pressure. So if you don't have enough potassium in the body, it's going to be very hard for you to get your blood pressure in check. So if they got you on diuretics all the time and you're drinking all these amounts of water and you're just urinating out potassium, that's going to be contradictory to you balancing out your blood pressure over periods of time, okay? So you guys got to understand the science behind what is the root cause of your blood pressure, especially when you know you're going to the gyms and you're doing this, you're doing that, you're not drinking, you're not smoking, you're not on any painkillers, you're not doing all this stuff, you're detoxing, your body doesn't have these heavy metals in there, they didn't tell you about any kind of obstructions or anything into your arteries, but you just can't figure out why I can't get my blood pressure under control. I'm telling you to look toward this system here and start really understanding systolic and what that really means versus diastolic and what that really means, and then understand pulse pressure. Now, pulse pressure is the difference between systolic minus diastolic, right? So you would take your systolic minus your diastolic, and if you are 50 years or younger, right, then you should have that around 40. 40 points, okay? If you are 50 and older, then you should have that around 50 points. Now, sometimes the numbers will move together, right? They'll move together, but as long as that spread stays the same, you should be okay. It's when they start spreading away from each other that you're going to have problems, okay? So just understand all of these different factors, get to the root cause of what's really going on, start to really ease your mind, ease your body, ease your life, okay, and start relaxing more, start really, allowing that parasympathetic part of your nervous system to really come into effect, help you relax, help you rejuvenate, recuperate, and help you recover from what the day life really brings to us, okay, man? So I wanted you guys to know this. I didn't want to make this video long, but I definitely wanted to make it strong. I love you guys, man, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please go tell somebody about your homie HerbMan. And until next time, love HerbMan. Yes, sir.